What's up, everybody? This is DJ Too Tuff of the Tuff Crew, official Tuff Crew representative, and you're watching Rick-Ski TV. Peace.
Rick-Ski TV. Subscribe now. Jetzt abonnieren.
You came up with some unique stuff, like the song is so ridiculous. I
Right.
really liked it because
I like it too.
that's really cool. Like the rock and roll stuff in it, and the country stuff is cool. It's like
Right.
it's humorous.
Well, we was funny, like amongst ourselves. You know, to be honest, we used to always be joking and just messing around. So it was easy for us to get like that on the record too. You know, it was like, all right, we just gonna trip out on this joint. We probably just got high. It was just like doing some shit. I remember laughing as we was writing it. I was saying, met this girl from Alabama. Called me on the phone and she asked me to rap her.
Yes, come on.
That popped out one day. I farted.
Yeah. Right.
Come on.
So we really was just, we was having fun with it. You know what I mean?
That's
we really was
dope.
having fun with it, but we didn't know what we was going to really, how we were going to go. And we knew we had, you know, danger zone stuff in us, but we were being actually led to show that we could do what the world seemed to be like it was appealing to, at least, you know, nationally. So he wanted us to have that success. So we was given different looks until we had more creative control on the next project where we started recording with our brand of hip hop.
How Monty G got into the picture, and what was his role in the Tuff Crew?
Go ahead, Tom.
Again, I'd say that was Mitch trying to cover everything. You know, Will Smith and them had a beatbox. He was like, you know, this is how Mitch was. You know, I'm gonna get a beatbox. I'm gonna get you know, some rappers or some dancers. He wanted to cover all bases. So Monty, he met looking for talent. He could beatbox. He was selling himself all the time. He still is. Shout out to Monty G. He's the Philly billboard for sports now.
Yeah, I know.
Philly mascot for every sports team that we had. But you know, he was always, you know, comedic. He was very, very funny. And Mitch was looking for talent and found him in South Philly and brought him along. So he was just along for the ride with us originally, in case we had to do something with some freestyling or some beatboxing, or if the system shut down, you know. But Monty wound up opening the shows for us, but we wrote him into the script basically.
Okay, Tone, how did you, Ice Dog and LA Kid, develop your MC style, which was very different from the other Philly crews?
You know, I think the development came with just listening to the beats and writing together. We all had our style in us. LA wasn't really an MC. We did a lot of writing for LA. He was a producer more or less, but he could rap a little and he had a nice look. He was a handsome dude. So we was like, all right, we're going to put you out there too. That was Mitch's idea actually, because he originally was just going to make beats. But we wrote rhymes for him, but me and Ice already had different styles. I think I was very noticeable in the way I rapped, and Ice was very noticeable in the way he rapped. He had a very unique voice as well. So those styles just developed as we started writing with each other and coming up with this new music. You know, we wrote together. Sometimes we did it. When we brought it together, you had the different unique styles right there, and they complemented each other. Too Tuff put his thing on them. You know, we wrote something. Mostly Ice would write something for LA, and that's how we did it. That was the formula.
Yeah, perfect combination of styles and voices, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to look at the group from the outside, because not being a member of Tuff Crew originally, I got the fans' point of view. So when I became a member of the group and finally got to see the inner workings of the group and who wrote, who produced,
right,
how the videos were shot, I didn't know anything about the music industry at all. Anything and everything that I learned about music and about the industry came directly from my experiences with Tuff Crew. And I know this to this day: if we all do solo albums, the parts don't add up to the sum of Tuff Crew. Like, we have to have all 4 members of Tuff Crew to be Tuff Crew, because it's just not the same when we all do our solo stuff. It just doesn't have that same impact. Not to say that we can't all do successful solo songs and have successful solo careers, but as Tuff Crew, it's kind of like Voltron. coming together and forming with all the pieces of the puzzle fit together perfectly in complete synergy. I mean, Tone's voice complements Ice's voice perfectly with the beats in the background and the scratches on top of it. It's a no-lose situation. Like, we can't lose when we're on point.
True. So who did the production on Dangerzone and Back to Wreckshop on these two albums?
LA Kid was always the super producer, the beat maker, but a lot of the songs that he ended up doing, where he did the final versions as far as chopping them, arranging them, sequencing them, were ideas that were brought to the table by each member of Tuff Crew, because somebody would have a beat that they wanted to rhyme to. Somebody would suggest something. We might be smoking some weed, listening to some break beats. We always had crates of records. I used to always go digging in the records. So a lot of the beats that LA made, I might have found because something we used to scratch back in the day at house parties and stuff like that I thought might be a good idea. Some of the beats that LA made were suggested by Tone. I remember he wanted to use Me by Bill Withers, and I mean it was just a team input. And at the same time, I also made beats. Tone made beats. Tone made the beat for Feels So Good Now.
Yeah.
And that made it on the album, and that wasn't never even mastered. That was just like a last minute add-on. Feels So Good Now. That was Tone's production. I did Going the Distance. I helped with my part of town. So we all had a pretty equal input on the production end, although we all may not have touched every beat on the drum machine.
So you're known for the heavy 808 bass. Who came up with that? For me, it's you and Ultramagnetic are known for that, like the boom.
I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a secret right now that I may have to kill you for later. The 808s on all of the Tuff Crew stuff is from the record Original Concept. Pump That Bass. We had a little foot pedal sampler.
Right.
You hit with your foot. We had that bass on there when we made Smooth Momentum. I did Smooth Momentum with Ice Dog in my third floor bedroom at my mom and dad's house with two Bouncy Lady records and the foot pedal with the 808 bass on it. That was the pre-production.
Cool.
Yeah, that was the fucking pre-production for Smooth Momentum, and then we went on later on and put it in the SP12 and made it be a real production. But yeah, that 808 boom sound, we were I don't know, man. It just became a staple of our music and ended up getting us plugged directly into Luke Skywalker and on tour with 2 Live Crew and right into the mainstream of the whole Miami bass scene.
Yeah.
Just for putting that kick bass. Just for putting that kick bass in the the SP12.
Yeah.
So,
we left it there.
I always wonder what is the term Danger Zone stands for? This is a
Danger Zone is the area where we grew up, the Badlands, North Philly. But
okay.
Danger Zone also represents a team of brothers that's united in mind and purpose, dealing with street issues and keeping God in mind. I mean, we always been good dudes to each other and to the rest of our family and fans. So not to put anybody out there, but ain't nobody in Tuff Crew robbing banks, murdering people. We might have had our brushes with the law or whatever like that, but we basically good dudes and we love our music. So the Danger Zone was a way out of the ghetto for us, and we wanted to tell a little bit of a story about the ghetto, so we called the album Danger Zone.
And for me, Danger Zone also meant, if you came and you tried to deal with us as far as, because battling was an element of it. So as far as us towards other crews, if you came in to deal with us, you was in the Danger Zone. You wasn't going to make it out unscathed. If you battled us, as far as our DJ, as far as any of us as rappers, you was in the Danger Zone at that point. But as you know, so although we used the skull and bones, we had the peace fingers on the end of the bones, meaning that we came in peace. But you was in the Danger Zone if you wanted to battle the Tuff or anybody from our clique.
Yeah. Tell me about the day you shot the famous picture that's on the backside of the Back to Wreckshop album. The group picture.
They announced it on the radio through Lady B because Tony Mitchell had a great connection with Lady B. The same great connection that he had with Mimi Brown, the same great connection that he had with 10 or 20 or 30 other industry people that were vital in breaking our record and continuing to support us through radio play and shows. They announced it on the radio that we were doing a photo shoot for the Tuff Crew album. Everybody in Philly come down to the art museum, and we didn't know the impact that it was going to have, but it was mob there. The whole art museum was filled with people, and it just gave us an idea of the amount of love that Philly was showing for us.
Who came up with the idea for the Going the Distance intro with the Rocky horns?
I used to love Rocky. One of the first records that my mom bought me was Bill Conti, the Rocky album. My grandma, God rest her soul, she took me to see almost every Rocky movie up till she couldn't walk anymore. And I used to box when I was younger. My dad loved boxing, so I kind of incorporated the Rocky music into it. I always was a fan of classical music. Classical music always inspired me, always gave me a different feeling in my body, my mind, and my soul when listening to it, because it didn't have lyrics, and it brought me to another level. So I wanted to put some, I wanted to incorporate some of the energy from the Rocky soundtrack that I experienced by listening to it, and kind of mash it up with some hip hop.
Yeah. In the late 80s, Tuff Crew was pretty big in Europe, especially UK and Holland. The crew King B from Holland heavily borrowed your sound, especially on the track Back by Dope the Man. How do you become aware of this, and what are your thoughts on this?
I'll tell you, for me, it was funny because, I mean, we heard it because it was so similar to Tuff Crew. We heard it by radio starting to mix it with, DJs were starting to mix it with our song. So if we're listening to the Tuff Crew, and now we're listening on the weekends when the DJs are doing their mixes, and we're hearing this song coming in, sounding like Ice Dog, but it's not Ice Dog. I mean, I think some of the DJs might even thought it was new Tuff Crew.
A lot of people did think it was new Tuff Crew.
Right.
They used to be like, y'all got a new joint out? Like,
yeah.
What you talking about?
They thought it was us, you know, and then we realized it wasn't, because they were mixing it with our song, and we listened to our song, and then we were like, oh, what's that? Oh, that ain't Ice. Oh, that's crazy. So we was kind of fucked up about it, like, oh, all right, we're going to have to go over there and let this boy know. We really wanted to come over there and, like, battle him and let Ice battle him. But, you know, it never happened, but that still needed to happen, actually, because he just, like, okay, I think it was a while since we had released.
That just shows how big you were back in the days in Holland.
Yeah.
People loved it.
Well, you know, they say imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Right.
So by them making that record, and I've since spoken to Guam Elm Zoon on Facebook, and I spoke to All Star Fresh and everybody from I spoke to them on the phone and on Facebook, and they loved the shit out of us to the point where they even wanted to be us.
Do you think you had an influence on the Miami bass sound, or was it the other way around?
We definitely influenced the Miami bass sound. No, I wouldn't say they influenced us, because we were just doing us, and then we just found out that they loved that our flow, you know, and our beats, and like it was what they were doing. So we didn't really know what they were doing down there until we went down there. And when they heard us, they was like, "Yo, that sounds like what we like," and they just embraced us from there. So they kind of pulled us into the Miami bass history. You know, I mean, we're part of that sound because of them liking what we were doing, but we really didn't try to emulate anything out there. I think we did a couple songs once we was going down there, like "Give Me Some" and "She Rides the Pony." Yeah, we made those couple songs just for that area, you know.
Because my part of the town was a hit in that whole scene, and they brought us down there and showed us crazy love. We in a way you could say, we influenced the Miami bass scene, but in direct return to that, we went and made some Miami bass songs, especially for them. Just as he said, "Give Me Some," "She Rides the Pony," "What You Don't Know," to a certain extent. A lot that just kept us going at like 110 and up, 114 and up. We always like that fast shit, you know what I mean? We always like 114 beats per minute. keep the motherfucking party dancing. It's always good to scratch the 114. Well, if you're good enough to scratch the 114, that separates the men from the boys on the wheels.
Yeah.
I love that sound. I said for me, Tuff, that's what Tuff Crew stands for, the up-tempo beats and the scratches. And did you ever perform outside the US?
No.
Nope.
We have yet to touch anything but American soil, and we'd be very happy.
Tell me about the video, what you don't know. Yeah, how this came about, the video.
What you don't know. Oh, that video came about. We were working with this guy. He was on TV locally, kind of like he was a host on a rap show, on a dance show. And what was his name?
Rennie Harris.
Yeah, Rennie Harris. And Rennie had like a dance ensemble. He was like a dance teacher of hip hop and stuff. He hosted a local show. And he was saying, yeah, man, make a nice little dance joint now that y'all buzzing. And, you know, I could play it on the show and promote it, you know, what I'm doing and stuff. So we did What You Don't Know. We was like, all right, we'll do this one. So he helped choreograph some of the dancing that you saw in the video. He was one of the dancers. He was instrumental in us picking a location and what kind of shots and what we wanted to get happening. So that video came about with us. We was just going to show Tuff Crew a day in the life, walking, you know, if we just around about town.
The location of that video was shot all on location in the Badlands on American Street, 2nd and Girard, A in Somerset. So those areas right now have either become super renaissance and been rebuilt and modernized to the point where it's like, yep. That video showed a lot of places that are still the same, and shows a lot of places that completely changed into something totally different.
Okay. Besides the Robin Hood's video, Tuff Crew has a third video, right? That never came out.
Yeah.
What, My Part of Town, Dancing and Piss?
No,
that one. Yeah. We did a video for My Part of Town where we were dancing in puddles of piss in the North Philly train station. Yo, literally, we were dancing in piss. I'm not fucking lying to you. I had a videotape. Of that, and it's a dude named Butch Mayo. Maybe he'll see this video once it gets distributed, so that way I ain't got to go get a kidnapping charge to get this video back off him. Okay,
but it does exist.
Yeah, it does exist. I wish I had it. My boy told me not to give it to him. I should have listened to him.
Okay.
Yeah. It exists on one fucking videotape. One.
Crazy.
Yeah, that would be a classic right now.
Yo,
it was on a VCR.
Tell me about the Hittin Hardball song from the One Voice compilation.
That was one of my favorite songs. Hittin Hardball was the shit. That happened kind of like during the Tuff Crew breakup. It was iffy. I don't really even know how that happened. Maybe Tone could tell you a little bit more about Hittin Hardball. I just know that's one of my favorite Tuff Crew songs.
Yeah, we did it for the compilation. Okay. And it was last minute, I think, kind of, you know, was being put together. We were supposed to get it together. We went over Jersey.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that song? That has Smooth K, Ice Dogg, and Tone Love. Now, when the breakup took place, Smooth K took Tone's spot.
Right.
In the Tuff Crew, and me and Tone went and did Dangerzone Mobb Sqwad. So that song is funny to me because it has Smooth K and Tone Love on the same song, which was I don't know what I was doing during that.
Well, Smooth K always had ambitions. He had ambitions to rap. So I think he was another artist that Mitch was going to bring out. Tony Mitchell was going to bring out on his label.
Right.
But that particular day, I guess he was in the right place at the right time. He was from Jersey. I remember we went over there, and Mitch was eager to hear him on a record. So he gave him an opportunity on that compilation to be on the compilation by getting on the record. So I guess he thought he was good enough once I left, you know, Tuff Crew to put him in Tuff Crew. But he actually, you know, was going to be an artist in his own right on the label.
So the breakup of Tuff Crew happened in 1990, right? And how did it? What was the situation? Why did the original formation of Tuff Crew break up? What was the reason?
Well, I used to look through Mitch's drawers when he wasn't around. I found some contracts that said that we got X amount of dollars, and I know that we didn't split X amount of dollars. We split less than X amount of dollars. And looking back on the situation, there was a lot of things that happened where we had a deal set up with a major who wanted to sign us, and because our management contracts ended, but the recording contract with Warlock still had 1 year to go, that wasn't such good thinking on Mitch's part. So it put him into a hole where he could have possibly lost us and still owed Warlock one album under the name Tuff Crew. So it really didn't matter who the members of Tuff Crew were, because Tuff Crew was signed to So Def and So Def was signed to Warlock.
Right.
Which is it's a little too deep for me, because we were the artists, and having signed on as artists and having signed on as he's our manager, we really didn't have a lot of say so in the behind the scenes issues that went on, and the hows and wheres and whys and money that came through, which was, I mean, it was par for the time period. I mean, we were young. A lot of groups in Philly signed contracts that they ended up regretting. And just to clarify, if we would have never signed those regrettable contracts, we wouldn't be here right now. We wouldn't have 4 to 6 albums, depending on what you want to include, with numerous hits and worldwide acclaim. So I'm grateful. If I could do it all over again, I'll do it all over again.
You started the Still Dangerous album. You started it all together, right?
We started the beats. We had some of the beats done.
Okay.
I think if we were all together, then it probably wouldn't have been called Still Dangerous.
Okay.
I think if we were all together, it wouldn't have sounded anything like that sounded. You agree, Tom?
I do. We weren't all together. That was not a Tuff Crew record. That was
that wasn't a Tuff Crew effort.
That was an out of balance tone. I mean, some of the members were there, some of the members, but it wasn't a Tuff Crew record. We had a certain formula. We had a certain essence that, you would feel if it was us, because we brought that into the studio. So now this was a whole different chemistry. It was a whole different synergy, and it wasn't clicking because everything was out of balance. We should have really stayed together. When we broke up, I was trying to encourage the group to stay together, but let's just get away from the manager, and we still give him his 20%. Now, they agreed to that, but then down the road, no one really stood up for it, and they just fell back into their positions, which was okay. Well, if Tone doesn't want to be in it, we'll write him out of the script. But actually, we were supposed to stay together, and then we would have had to deal with Capitol Records or not, but we could have still.
Yeah, actually, I was the first one to probably be thrown out of the group.
Yeah.
For X, Y, and Z, whatever. I remember being told, "Pussy, that's your last show." Things played out as they did. There was another connection with Ultramagnetic right at the breakup, where Ultra was signing with some label through a manager named David Suckle. They reached out to me. I went there with Ice in the middle of that meeting where we were going to sign some contracts. Mitch came there, and a last second attempt to bring Ice back into the group on his end. See, because at this point it was Tony Mitchell and Tuff Crew, and then the Tuff Crew members trying to decide who was going to go where, or were we all going to stay, or who was going to go, and whatever. It just came to the point where things didn't work out for me and Tone to stay there. So we had chemistry working. Fats came back into the picture. He put up some money. We went and did Dangerzone Mobb Sqwad. We did a four-track demo. Out of those 4 songs, 2 songs were commercially released.
Was there ever plans to include MC Mechanism into the group?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mechanism was my MC before he was my MC before I became a member of Tuff Crew. So I felt a certain loyalty to him to try to plug him into the Tuff Crew situation because of his talent and because we hung around that neighborhood a lot. Me and Mech grew up in the same neighborhood. Everybody in Tuff Crew took a liking to Mechanism. I have about 40 songs that I did with Mechanism that were never released.
Right.
I still have those songs to this day on 8-track cassette. Yeah, Mech was an official Tuff Crew member who never officially became a member of Tuff Crew.
Correct.
Too Tough, you've been the DJ of Tim Dogg for a while, right?
Yeah, for like a month.
Did you ever perform with Tim Dogg?
I did one show with Tim Dogg. It was in Philly. I think it was at Mahorn's, at Club Mahorn's, Mahorn's Club. That whole thing took place during the same time during the breakup.
Right.
Probably at one time I was the DJ for Tuff Crew, the DJ for Icecream Tee, and the DJ for Tim Dogg all in the same month.
Oh.
But if you would give me my choice, I'll stay as DJ for the Tuff Crew.
Yeah.
That's my family, you know what I mean?
You put out the Remember EP in 2011. And were you back together at that point?
Yeah, I think
all the members.
That was the song "Rock On." The song "Rock On" came off of an Ice Dog solo release, I think, and it was included on that 4x4 Records release. Rock On, Tuff Crew Band. You know, over the years, we've had a lot of different offers to do licensing agreements. So that was one of them, to license some of the previously recorded songs that we had, and maybe we included a new one on there. That was just Tuff Crew still remaining hungry to release new material. And sometimes it includes all the members, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always a Tuff Crew release. As long as one of the members of the Tuff Crew is on it.
Tell me about the early sessions record.
Yeah, if you listen to that record, those songs have the gentleman that I told you, Easy C, who was one of the original members of Tuff Crew, on it.
Oh, okay.
His voice is on there. That was a Tony Mitchell 100% licensing deal from tapes that he had in his basement or found. I heard that he was able to find those tapes from DJ Miz at a studio that he brought Miz to do some work at very recently, and then decided that he could probably make a couple dollars by licensing it out for you know,
some stuff that we didn't record on the album when we were recording back for the Fan Jam album.
The song "You're Out of Work" that's on that, John, was like there's also a video to that. I don't know who has that video, but there's a video to "You're Out of Work."
Really?
And that was the first Tuff Crew song that I heard that made me become a Tuff Crew fan before I was even a member of Tuff Crew, was "You're Out of Work."
Okay, where's that video?
I don't know.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know that there's a video, though.
What is the role of Lady B in the Philly hip-hop scene?
Lady B was the queen of Philly hip-hop, and she's still the queen of Philly hip-hop. Lady B gets more respect for her past because she was the first Philly MC probably to make a record.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's more than held her own on the radio.
I'm busy.
For more than 30 years now, and she's definitely a Tuff Crew lover and a very close family member for all of us.
Yep. Shout out to Lady B, the hip hop.
You guys back together again doing shows, right?
Yes.
So,
we started doing shows again in 2009, 2008, maybe 2006.
Okay.
I got diagnosed with cancer. I took a little break. I came back out more inspired than before I was diagnosed with cancer. I feel that there's a certain urgency that we need to realize because we're getting older. Everybody in Tuff Crew right now is still alive and well, and I'd like to if I had my personal preference, I would like to drop one more Tuff Crew album before it's all over.
Make it happen.
And if my dream can be achieved and our destiny can come to fruition, I would love to travel overseas to Europe, United Kingdom, maybe Australia and Japan as well. But really what we have our sights set on right now, or at least maybe me personally, is because I handle a lot of the managerial aspects and the booking aspects of Tuff Crew now.
Right.
Just as far as logistically, just doing the groundwork before it gets down to it. I would love to see Tuff Crew do a little mini tour or a maxi tour in Europe and the UK. That would be like my dream come true. That'd make me feel like I was able to carry on Tony Mitchell's legacy. And Mitch is still alive too.
Oh, you have a lot of fans in Europe still.
Where's the phone charger?
Especially the UK and Holland. So, are there any new recordings for the Tuff Crew?
Yeah, we always got 10 or 20 songs in the cut. All of the albums that were commercially released, the songs that appeared on those albums were probably done 2 to 6 years before they ever came on that album. They might have been redone right as it was time to drop them on the album, but a lot of the songs that we do, we have been working on for years, and we each have our special favorites.
It's well overdue. I think, the fans have supported us over there over the years just as much, if not more, than here. One thing I love about where you are, Rick, is that y'all really hold on to the artists, that you really like, whether they're recording currently or not. And, we appreciate that as MCs and artists that y'all don't forget about us and, give us the opportunity. Always looking forward to giving y'all some new music this year. We're sitting on music right now that we could just bring out and let y'all enjoy, but we just want to let y'all know, if there's a way to purchase it, it will be available. www.therealraprecords. That's www.therealraprecords.com. It's going to be available on there along with some of our merchandise.
Since you just mentioned your web address, so let me ask you: are you both on social media? Where can people connect to you?
You can connect with me on Facebook. I have probably 6 pages on Facebook. Tuff Crew on Facebook, DJ Too Tuff on Facebook, Joseph X Facebook, DJ Too Tuff and the Tuff Crew, Dangerzone Music Group.
All that information, I said again, will be available www.therealraprecords. That's my new independent label, therealraprecords.com, and you'll be able to see what's up with the show dates and merch and music and everything.
Okay, cool. So I really want to thank you for the interview. It was great. As a fan.
Thank you.
Rick's PTV. Subscribe now. Jetzt abonnieren.